Hello everyone, and welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news, gaming in general, and sometimes massive showcases that happen all in a week, and there's so much of it that we delay the episode slightly. I am Bad Company Sarge, and as always, we have the person whose name is on the channel is on the name. That sentence doesn't make sense. Caedo Genesis.
Yep. It's me. Hello. Hi.
So
I'm very sick.
Yeah, speaking of being sick and transitions that make sense afterwards, tip of the day, Caedo, what is it this time?
Cover your cough, please. Okay, so I have a story. Every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, by the way, is when these podcasts usually happen.
Usually, yeah.
This one's gonna be a little late. It might even be on Monday. I don't know. But I went to a concert on Monday, last week, and it was amazing. But it was a very enclosed space with a lot of people, and of course the bar was open, and we had over 21 tickets, so a lot of people had masks down, were drinking and screaming and shouting, and I got con crud from the concert. But it's just a cold. Fortunately, I did a couple of tests. It wasn't COVID. I just got a pretty gnarly cold, and I haven't had one for like 3 years, so it's kicking my butt pretty hard. But I have enough energy to do this, so we're gonna talk about Starfield. It's gonna be great.
We are indeed, but that's later.
Yeah.
We have all of the news first.
So many other things.
Yeah. There's also comment to the cast, and I'm gonna go with the shorter one because it's less talking and there's a lot to say.
Awesome.
So, Scrumpo says, time to crack open a cold Nuka-Cola and some dried meat. This is gonna be a treat. Which is just like, a nice little positive comment that someone left on the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate those little positive comments. They really make you feel better.
Thank you, Scrumpo. And do you remember the thing we talked about in the last topic?
Oh, no.
Last episode? No?
I don't remember much besides like 2 days ago when my brain stopped working.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It was another The Gamer article.
Was it the classic? Oh yeah, it was a classic Fallout tips.
Yeah.
I remember because I looked through the comments and there's like half of them are just people asking you for like guide advice and stuff.
Yeah, guide advice on guides I've already done. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
it's like I had an idea of what people wanted. Ear to the ground kind of stuff. So yeah, good, great comment.
Yes.
So we're splitting it up a little bit. We're gonna have we have a couple of news things like state of play stuff, but of course the end of the Summer Game Fest is what we were really excited for, which is why this episode was delayed. So there was a lot of XBOX+Bethesda stuff on Sunday.
Yes.
So we're splitting it up to like all of the like not Starfield Bethesda Obsidian stuff is going to be in the news section, whereas Starfield's going to be like the main topic.
Yeah, because there's a lot to say on that.
Yeah.
We're also recording this half an hour. It is literally half an hour after the showcase ended. So,
yeah.
All fresh
and we're going to
excited.
have, fortunately, during the event when Phil Spencer was giving his spiel right before the Starfield stuff, they put up a graphic of like all the stuff that's happening within the next 12 months, which is very helpful for those of us who are visual people. I know I am.
I mean,
so,
it's just a great little graphic to have.
Yeah,
Especially seeing as it's got a few things on there which weren't even like shown in the showcase. Like the Callisto
really?
the Callisto protocol, which looks like Death Stranding but plays like Dead Space. That's like in this graph.
No, it just looks like Dead Space.
Yeah, but the suit, that's so Death Stranding style.
Is it?
Yeah, I get total vibes of that.
I don't know.
Especially the glass in the face and stuff.
I'll take your word for it. I'll have to look at it again. I looked away for a lot of it because it was a lot of just, gruesome gore and scary things, and I'm easily scared.
Oh.
I'm a scaredy cat.
Really cool graphic with tons of stuff.
So we'll go over the state of play, the PlayStation state of play stuff really quick. Thanks to IGN for compiling basically everything that was shown. And that was earlier in the week. So Final Fantasy 16 has a release date for summer 2023. It seems like it has a focus on the summons or the eidolons or whatever you want to call them in the Final Fantasy series, but it seems like that's like the central focus of Final Fantasy 16. And the cinematic, like Square Enix always does amazing cinematics. I don't think I've ever come across one that I'm just like, oh, that looks bad. No,
it's incredible.
I don't think I've ever said that or thought that.
I'm slightly surprised how soon this is coming out, considering Stranger of Paradise came out earlier this year. It's like just a year apart from Final Fantasy games, which isn't particularly long.
Yeah, I mean they've got a lot of teams working on a lot of things at once.
Yeah,
because Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 is still like, on its way, I hope.
Yeah, I feel like news about that has just stopped permanently.
Because I know they're milking it with all the extra stuff that's coming along with it, so I don't know. But then there's Resident Evil 4 Remake got officially announced.
Yes.
Resident Evil Village is getting a VR version, which is pretty
even more creepy.
Yep, great and terrifying. Street Fighter 6's first gameplay trailer was shown, along with a 2023 release window. For you fighting games fans. I know a lot of fighting game channels are all over that.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the next Street Fighter. Horizon Call of the Mountain is the Horizon New Dawn Forbidden West VR experience. They did a lot of VR focus because they're trying to promote the next VR system that comes with the PS5.
Yeah.
For those who can get them. Horizon Forbidden West gets a major update that includes New Game Plus, which is pretty cool. The Callisto Protocol, which we were talking about a little bit a couple seconds ago. The gameplay trailer confirmed December 2022 release date.
Yep. December 2nd, so right at the start of the month. December
2nd. Oh, wow. And apologies for my voice just giving out entirely, because it's got to do that. So, just as a heads up. Stray gets a release date. Alongside the announcement, it will be free for PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium members. What the heck is PlayStation Plus Extra? I don't...
It's a bit of an excessive name.
PlayStation stop. Just PlayStation Pass. Just do what Xbox is doing.
I mean, Xbox seems to get their membership names right and their console names wrong, and PlayStation gets the console names right and all their membership names wrong.
Yeah. I guess that, yeah. It's fair.
It balances out, but I'd rather just have them all be easy to understand.
Yeah. I like that actually we're covering both too, like in this PIPCAST, we're covering the Sony stuff and the Xbox stuff. It feels almost fair.
Almost. Because we're going to talk way more about the Xbox conference.
So much Starfield. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man Miles Morales will swing to PC in 2022, this year. So I'll probably be playing Miles Morales on my PC at some point. No Man's Sky is going to be on PlayStation VR 2, more VR stuff. Season A Letter to the Future. I don't remember this one.
Looks narrative just from a very short thing. Very artsy kind of style.
Narrative, photographer. Very beautiful art style. But
yeah, that's going to be coming this autumn. Then we got Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. Why is that name so long? Walking
Dead, get your title game together, please.
It's got 2 colons in it. It's much.
That's too many.
Yeah, but that's coming to PlayStation VR 2. Because we just need more and more stuff in VR. Like, to be fair, if you have VR, great.
Yeah. I need the commenters to be honest with me. Do any of you care about The Walking Dead anymore?
How could you?
I just want to throw that question out there for everyone. Does anybody really care about The Walking Dead anymore? Clearly some people do, because they keep making stuff about it.
Yeah.
But I don't have anybody in my friend group who really cares about The Walking Dead anymore.
No. I've heard no one talk about it in years, honestly.
Anyway, Evernights is a dating action game set in the apocalypse.
Eternights.
Eternights.
Yep.
It looks weird.
It sounds weird as well. You can't say Eternights. without feeling like you're saying the word wrong.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Yeah, bit of a genre clash.
Futuristic skater shooter roller dome. Another one. Oh, it's asking how old I am for this one.
Oh wow, it's not asking me how old I am. Interesting.
That's because you're English.
I've also got a fancy beard growing at the moment, so don't need to ID check or anything.
Distinguish English.
That's coming to both PS4 and PS5. Wow.
Yes. And Tunic comes to PlayStation this September. I think that's all of it.
Yeah. Tunic's a game that's already out. It's Zelda, but you're a fox.
Yep.
It looks
Zelda,
very
but you're a
cute, to be
fox.
fair.
What Link's Persona is now. Anyway. Point Lookout DLC. Mod projects are cool.
Yes.
This Point Lookout, big old mod project that came out for Fallout 4, and I've been hearing and seeing good things.
Yeah, I threw this into the outline as the only topic we'll be talking about this episode that isn't part of a showcase.
Wow, really? Yeah.
Yeah, while all the professional developers are doing all these huge things, there's still some, like, pretty cool mods coming out. And this is literally just someone making Point Lookout inside of Fallout 4 as part of a mod, which is really quite cool.
And it's the whole thing. It's the whole DLC in Fallout 4, made in the updated engine. I watched Many a True Nerd play a little bit, and it's like it looks just like a up-resed Point Lookout. It's really nice. So if Point Lookout is kind of your jam, it was mediocre for me, but if it's kind of your jam,
I think it's pretty
thing
solid.
to do in Fallout 4.
I feel like Point Lookout did a good job of not overstaying its welcome too much. You get through it fairly quickly, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Especially seeing as it's a bit of a tougher DLC, and could have very easily gone into a grind fest.
Yes. I just remember in Fallout 3 the enemies being like super spongy.
Oh yeah, so much so. That's why I'm so happy that it's short. Because I played through it again last year, I want to say, at some point. And it's quite quick to get through. And if it wasn't, then I would have found it annoying. But instead, I really enjoyed it.
Nice. So we'll run through the Bethesda-oriented stuff. We do have like all of the things that are mentioned. I don't know if I'll put all the timestamps in for everything, for the showcase itself. But we've linked the showcase down below, and I listed down all of the things that are shown in that showcase and their release dates. So. And we'll have that graphic on screen, probably starting now, of all the things that are happening in the next year.
So many things.
When it comes to Xbox.
Yeah.
And Bethesda and stuff. So first, we saw more Redfall stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm not doing the association with that other game that's got vampires in it as much, because this doesn't seem to be a battle royale.
No, it's not a battle royale. I still compare it to Left 4 Dead a lot, because it's like four characters go through, but it's vampires instead of zombies. It's much more modern, and they've all got fancy abilities and stuff, but it is very much go through these areas, kill the dead. Ta-da! That's the game.
Yep.
But you got like different loot. I saw like one of the screenshots that flew by super fast, basically, was just like a little loot menu with different colours, so I'm guessing different rarities. Then it looks like there might be levelling up and skill points and various things. So a bit more in-depth than Left 4 Dead ever was. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Me too.
Plus, I'm looking at the chart here. Wait, I can't see it on the chart. I don't see Redfall on here. On the little screenshot thing. No, they don't have Redfall on here, I don't think.
Really? Oh, it's right. It's on the second. It's on 2023.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that every time.
That's fine.
Cool.
That's fine.
Yes, and it's coming to Game Pass, so I'm actually going to be playing it. It's one of those games where I don't think I'd buy it, but because it's on Game Pass, I think I might actually play it quite a lot.
And we both have Game Pass, so we might play it together.
Yeah, we can co-op it.
Vampire slaying. Yay.
Woo.
I'm excited. I am actually excited. I just,
I'm also ill.
Yeah. More water. What was the next thing? Bethesda thing. They're highlighted in yellow.
Yes. I'm reading Caedo's notes on this because I'm a coward who has to flee from animals. So, yes, ESO High Isle, which is the next Elder Scrolls Online expansion, and it just looks really good. Because the ESO stuff, there's a lot of, like, style on their trailers. Their trailers are always incredible. Like, before this, I'd seen the latest cinematic trailer, which is just gorgeous. But this one's more, like, gameplay-focused and lore-focused and stuff. And if you are big into Elder Scrolls in general, you should give Elder Scrolls Online a try. Because it's definitely not for everyone. I know personally it's not for me. I just couldn't properly get into it. But it is so dense in, like, Elder Scrolls lore and stuff. But I've seen people who have been like, oh, I'm never going to play, like, a online multiplayer sort of game, get super into it because they're just big Elder Scrolls fans.
Yeah.
And that's coming June 21st. That's, like, super soon.
Yes.
I think
next
this
week.
might be the closest release date out of any of them.
Next week-ish.
Almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's actually quite a few things that are coming, like, next week. Or within the next couple of weeks. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is, though. Means I can't speak when I say it. But looks good. Another Bethesda online game which is getting an expansion, albeit somewhat later, is Fallout 76.
Yeah.
With Expeditions The Pitt, which I feel like we've been hearing about for a year now.
Says I wrote down September 2022. And I mean I was like, you know, half braining it where I didn't fully register like how far away that is still.
Yeah, that's quite far away. I'm pretty sure people have already played it in the public test server.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean that's a long time to test, which is good.
Yeah. Long away. You know, it does make me slightly annoyed that I reinstalled 76 onto Steam. Because I reinstalled it, so I was like, oh, when Expeditions comes out, I'll play that, and that's my reason for installing it, but that's many months away now. That's so many months.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty decent. You go into the pit, see trogs and stuff. Looks like it's going to be somewhat narrative-based. Although, to be fair, there's nothing we can really tell you which you wouldn't be able to find by playing it yourself or seeing videos, because I'm sure people have already covered it in its entirety in the public test server.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a disadvantage of that.
Yeah, because it's public.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, even when the PTS was the private test server, I feel like enough people broke, like, the NDA that they just changed it to public rather than trying to enforce it.
Do you think that was part of the reason?
I saw people constantly breaking the NDA, just all the time, because anyone could go on it, and a lot of people just kind of didn't seem to care. So they just did it, and when enough people were doing it, it's like they can either punish the people they have who want to play the game, or they can just go, well, spoilers everyone, you're gonna have to deal with it. And I feel like they just went with the everyone's gotta deal with spoilers option.
The next thing.
Are we going over the Obsidian stuff now?
Yeah. A little bit of Obsidian stuff.
Yeah, good news, everyone. They announced that Bethesda is going to get rid of the Fallout franchise. They're giving it to Obsidian. They're doing what the fans wanted, regardless of whether or not it actually makes any sense whatsoever. Well done, everyone. You got what you wanted. Obsidian definitely isn't making some little narrative medieval storybook game. It's definitely not happening.
Why you gotta get everybody's hopes up, Sarge? Why you gotta do that?
Just doing this. It's because you hear people say it all the time, while Obsidian themselves are off doing, like, these really kind of interesting but more niche projects. And then, like, all of the fans are like, no, you have to make all the Fallout games forever because they will all be perfect if you make them. And it's just funny. Yeah, they're working on a game called Pentiment, which is coming out in November. Anyone who's familiar with the Bayeux Tapestry or other pieces like that will recognise the art style instantly.
Yep.
Because, yeah,
in
like,
the style of medieval paintings, as IGN puts it.
Yeah, kinda. It looks like a cool little story-focused experience. I'm guessing it's going to be very much make your decisions to affect the outcome of the game. We didn't really see like proper gameplay of it, so we don't know too much. But coming out in November, so we've got plenty of time to see more. And Obsidian does like the narrative stuff pretty well. And honestly, I think one of the points where they're often not as good is in the gameplay. I don't think they're bad, I just don't think it's like a standout amazing point for them. So making a game that's much more focused around storytelling and that kind of style of thing probably plays more into their strengths.
Play to your strengths and you'll make something good.
I do wonder how many people are going to play it, because I always wonder this with the Obsidian games.
Yeah, because they do a lot of like niche games too that I know I haven't played either. So, like I still haven't played Pillars of Eternity. I still haven't played the South Park Stick of Truth and the
Fractured Butthole.
Fractured Butthole. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm struggling.
Yeah. I want to play the South Park games, and I've played Pillars of Eternity. I see everyone being like, oh, you're not a proper fan. Well, I'm sitting here having played more of the Obsidian games than most people probably have.
Yeah. I've played The Outer Worlds and New Vegas.
Yes.
And a little bit of Knights of the Old Republic too. Like way back.
Yeah, I've not played that, to be fair. But anyway, Obsidian's doing like tons of different things. And one other thing they're doing is still making Grounded, but it's almost done now.
Yeah, it's almost at its 1.0.
Yeah, I feel like it's been playable for a couple of years now, maybe?
It's been at least 2 years, I think.
Jeez. Yeah, it's been a long, long old time. I played like the first demo, I think, where you had like a time limit, I want to say, on how long you could even play for.
Oh yeah, the demo they had at the very beginning.
Yeah, haven't played it since, but the official 1.0 full release coming in September will give you like the full story of the game. So you find out the plot of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is super fun. And you fight insects, and you're tiny and shrunk down in the back of a garden, and it's a survival game.
Mm-hmm. And, rest easy, those of you who have arachnophobia, there's an arachnophobia setting.
Yes.
You can turn the spiders into blobs, or anything that's less offensive to your eyes.
Yep.
Which is amazing, and more developers should do that.
Mm-hmm. I do like very much that it's an option as well. So you can keep them super creepy.
Yeah, you can. I do, because, you know, they're in a video game and they can't hurt me unless they're crawling on my wall and then I squish them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's nice to have a setting like that. Because I know at least one of the people that I like to watch has, like, severe arachnophobia. Like, he can't even play Skyrim because he has arachnophobia that bad. And I'm like, no, you're missing out. But you have to mod your game to be able to play it, because Bethesda didn't even put in an arachnophobia mode. So.
I feel like back then as well, it wasn't really something people even thought about. It feels like a recent thing for people to start considering. Even though arachnophobia has been around forever, basically.
It could have been added in an Anniversary Edition, but they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they didn't really make new stuff for Anniversary. They just kept the stuff that was in Creation Club.
They did.
Continues to be made for that.
They did release new stuff in Anniversary, though.
It's just the Creation Club stuff, though. It didn't actually change the game so much as just throw in extra stuff that was on there.
It added an extra gross spider in one of the quests.
Yeah, they can add in stuff, but like taking away would have actually required like work on changing the core game itself.
You just change the models; it'd be easy. It's so easy. Modding is so easy.
I mean, I was gonna be like, oh, it's so easy, says the guy who's never programmed a game. But I, who haven't made anything outside of like Game Maker, would also be saying that. So
yeah, my experience as RPG Maker, like XP.
To be fair, I made a amazing game back in high school that people genuinely enjoyed playing. So
nice.
Clearly, I'm qualified.
Yeah. And you're making Fallout 5, obviously.
Yes,
So,
that's definitely being made and not cancelled.
Fallout Roni.
Oh dear. All right, what are we talking about next?
Kojima-san showed up in the Xbox thing. He's everywhere.
Caedo's Bay appeared.
I started grinning like an idiot because Phil Spencer was like, "This is somebody I've been admiring for years," and I'm like, "Well, it could be a lot of people." And it's Kojima, and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I had no idea who he was talking about. Because the way he said it did sound like it was someone who was like a real veteran of the game sphere, and I just had zero ideas. Because that was late into it as well. That was right before the Starfield reveal.
Yeah, right before the Starfield thing.
I was wondering if he was talking about Todd Howard, and I was like, this is kind of a weird and clunky way to talk about Todd Howard.
Or Pete Hines, like either of them.
Yeah.
I guess, well, Todd Howard's more on the developer side, I guess. Pete's like marketing.
Yeah, makes sense for Kojima. And Kojima talked about a never-seen-before game he's working on.
Yes.
That's all the details we have.
Teasing us like he does, trolling where he can. But something. If you've been a player of Hideo Kojima's games, like Metal Gear Solid, the recent Death Stranding and stuff like that, you'll know that he follows where the technology is, or where the best technology is. And he probably saw the specs like side to side, and he was like, "Well, I guess I'm moving to Xbox now," because that's how it was when he moved to PlayStation from Nintendo. In the like from Metal Gear to Metal Gear 2, and Metal Gear Solid, he was like, the PlayStation, the CD is the future, so I have to move to that. We can add like fully voiced characters and cutscenes, which is why Metal Gear Solid made such a name for itself, because it was like the first of its kind, having like fully voiced cutscene movie-like sequences. So yeah, I'm surprised that he was just like, Sony's got, Death Stranding. I'm gonna move over to Xbox for a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, just goes where he likes.
Yeah, because he's his own studio. Like,
he's very much got the star power to do it as well.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. Just a nice little treat for this Kojima fanboy. It's probably gonna be a horror project though. Like, that's what my gut is telling me. So I probably won't play it. Whatever it is.
I like how you're such a big fan. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna play the game.
I scare easy, man. I'm easily startled. So I don't know. If it's Death Stranding 2 though, oh man. Because that was spoiled by Norman Reedus. Anyway, now we can move on to the big reveal.
Are we not gonna quickly talk about the other stuff?
What? All
the various games you've got highlighted in green. Are we not gonna go over any
that's
of
all
them?
the Xbox stuff. Like
Yeah.
I mean, we can if you want to. If there's something you want to point out.
Yeah, we should end on the big one, right? Where we can have a full discussion. This stuff, I feel like we'll be talking about for 5-10 minutes.
Okay, go ahead. You do it.
All right. So there are a lot of games shown, a lot of them on Gamepass, and a big thing they said as well was this stuff is all planned to release over the next 12 months, which I like as a format of just being like, here's what's coming in the following year. That's like proper solid way to do it, in my opinion. And there was a ton of games that were mentioned. Won't mention all of them, just go over some of the more interesting ones. Hollow Knight Silksong just seems kind of cool. I know a lot of people are fans of that. High on Life, I made like some mild detailed notes of my own on that, because it's from the creators of Rick and Morty, and very much kind of has those vibes. Like, it's not in the world of Rick and Morty, but it feels like it's going to have the same kind of humor.
It looks like a dimension that Rick and Morty would travel to.
Yeah, like the art style isn't the same as the show, but it's kind of like an adjacent art style, I'd say. It's got the voice of Morty very prominently. I can't remember the name of the people.
He's voiced so many games at this point too that are all have like the same vibe as well.
Yeah, and it's such a distinctive voice that you just can't escape it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like a weird-looking FPS game, and the guns talk to you because they're also aliens.
Yes.
Which is just kind of cool. There's a bunch of games I don't care about. They did this last time, which is a huge section dedicated to Forza. And we had 2 of them in this conference. Like, there's so much Forza time.
Very pretty cars.
Yeah, and it was all just about graphics, and like, look at the aluminum on the tires. How cool is that?
It's very much like this is Microsoft's Gran Turismo kind of thing. So they have to be like, look at all the intricate details of the engine that you can now see in like ray tracing, 4K, and all that stuff, because their competition is like almost the beginning of that era of realistic driving sims, and now Forza is like kind of taking that over. Forza
gets a huge spot, and I think it's going to be every year from now forever. And I know I'm not alone in being like, oh, it's the Forza bit, I'm bored. A lot of us just kind of get that and are like, and just wait for the next bit. Because if you're not into car games, it's not much to look forward to.
Yeah, they had the Hot Wheels thing, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was neat, but I feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's been in other games.
Yeah.
And there's like an official Hot Wheels game too that was like last year or something that was actually, from what I hear, pretty good. So
possibly. But they're talking about games that are just like recycling a bunch of old stuff. Overwatch 2.
Hey,
coming out October 4th. And it looks like it's got probably all of the same old heroes, looking slightly different, I think. I say I think because I've not played Overwatch in maybe a couple of years, few years, so they might have just updated the character design and I never knew. But they've got a new character coming in as well, bit of a junkyard scrapper lady person. And
she's a Wastelander.
Yeah, Wastelander. Honestly don't know how it's going to be different from the first game, because I even recognise like some of the maps from the first game in the little trailer they gave. I'm genuinely curious if it will be any amount significantly different.
Join your team, shoot the other team.
Yeah, move the payload through the objectives or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anything they can do to really differentiate it.
Use your powers.
Yeah. What else on here looked cool? Oh, Scorn. Scorn coming out on October 21st looks like a super creepy, like flesh horror kind of.
That had a cool aesthetic that reminded me of something, but I couldn't place it. But it's also scary, so I probably can't.
Yeah, it looks kind of scary. It was a very standout thing, but even I kind of grimaced at it. It was all kind of to it. But because it stood out, it stuck in my mind. So good on them. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
Yes, we
talked about that before, didn't we?
We did. We talked about the trailer that looked cool.
Yeah, a little cinematic trailer.
This had some pseudo gameplay. I want to say like alpha or something like that. And it looks like a action RPG style game, which
my notes have third person unhappy face on it.
Oh.
Because that was something I'm pretty sure I was worried about for the game, it being in third person, which I'm not very good with.
Yeah.
So I was like, is it going to be like that? And yeah, it's in third person. Of course it is. But it still looks fairly cool. It's coming early next year, so who knows? Maybe it'll be good. It should be coming to Gamepass according to the little diagram, so I might still try it out. Not giving up on it yet. There's actually a bunch of other games. The Diablo 4 section was good for me because I needed a bathroom break, and that was ideal.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's most
introducing the Necromancer. That's always been in a Diablo game.
Yeah, like,
come on, Blizzard.
I actually got really quite excited during the Necromancer bit because I didn't realize it was Diablo, and it just looked super cool. The trailer for the Necromancer, I was like, oh my god, Necromancy game, question mark? And then it was just like, oh, Diablo 4's getting a Necromancer class.
I knew almost right away. It's that, the slightly exaggerated aesthetic of Blizzard.
I mean, I loved how that trailer looked, but I'm not really a Diablo fan. I think I've only actually played the first one. And just not my sort of game. Yeah. There was plenty of really cool games shown, but the big thing, the thing that we're all excited about,
is
Starfield.
I thought you were going to say Persona 5 Royal.
Oh, well,
No,
Persona 3,
Starfield.
4, and 5 are coming to Xbox.
Yes,
which
and
is
the first one is going to be Royal, I believe, on October 21st.
Yep. You know what, they're the kind of game where I might end up throwing them on the Xbox, because I do like my JRPGs.
I was making a joke, but if it's your thing, like Persona
I've heard
is a
good things
popular,
about them,
it's a popular franchise. So
yeah, I've never paid too much attention, but it genuinely might be the sort of thing that's good for me to play on console.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the actual fun thing is Starfield.
Yes. Sorry, I ruined the
That's
the
alright.
build-up.
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Oh man. So they did quite an extended gameplay reveal, which I think we were all expecting.
Yeah. And we're using air quotes with gameplay, right? Because it doesn't say like captured in engine or pre-alpha or anything on screen.
No.
This is
quite
super
gameplay-like, though. So if it is them just doing a pre-rendered thing, I still think it's going to be quite similar. Like, graphically, I'm sure things could be different and they could mix up the HUD elements.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like the no-HUD, more cinematic-looking style of thing. They just seem to actually be doing a small playable bit. So...
But either way, the aesthetic, the believable spacefaring kind of theme that they're going for, I'm feeling it with the ship design and buildings and stuff.
Dude, the ship design is one of the points I put exclamation marks on.
Yeah.
Because you build your own spaceship.
Yes.
Which I was not expecting at all. Like, whether or not you fly the spaceships, which you do, was something I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to do this. And they have. And I was like, wow, that's the big reveal. And then they're like, and you customize your own spaceship in these super intricate kind of ways, it seems. And then you choose crew for your ship. And I was like, so much more than I was expecting. I was literally expecting the big reveal, if at all, to just be, hey, you actually fly it. Especially seeing as in the show they had like this little Anna kind of cutscene bit where your ship lands on a planet, which actually made me think that you might not fly your spaceship. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just like a fast travel thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's a transition type thing.
Yeah.
You probably have to have a loading screen at that point.
Yeah.
So you like fly in towards the planet and then it lands. Or you target the planet and then you tell it where you want to land.
Yeah. I mean, they showed a little bit of the overworld and it looks like there's landing points you go to.
Okay.
Because the overworld as well. Did you get the number of planets, Caedo, that you'll be travelling to?
I didn't, but it's a big number.
Over 1,000.
Yeah.
That's a very big number.
That's a really big number.
It's in fact so big a number that I think everyone was like, huh? In their reactions. It was like, that's too big a number, right?
It's a concerningly big number.
Yeah.
I don't like the wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle argument about like Bethesda games and stuff. But 1,000 planets to visit might be an indicator of that.
I mean, we know there's like some planets with actual like more in-depth areas, like New Atlantis, which they showed off a bit of, which look like they're actually going to be quite detailed zones to go to. but if that's on, like, 1 planet out of 1,000, that's not even, like, 1% of the planets. Just how many of those planets are going to be, here's a desert planet with, like, raiders on it. Go shoot them. And that's it for the entire planet. I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of them, which are kind of one note.
Yeah. I'm wondering also if there's, like, going to be a pretty severe or pretty serious overhaul on the I mean, the Radiant system does get, you know, adjusted and changed as they go. I'm wondering if there's, like, the next level of that is incorporated in like exploring these 1,000 planets.
Yeah. I mean,
and hoping that it holds attention and it's not doesn't just get super redundant, because it or when it starts getting redundant, because 1,000 planets is still a lot for any player.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, this game is huge, and the 1,000 planet thing kind of was like, hey everyone, you want to know how big the game is? Here's this planet, and you can explore these different places, and let's zoom out, and here's our system, and let's zoom out even more, and now we're up to 1,000 planets. Oops.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I'm happy that this is going to be, like, a really big game, because hopefully this means, like, years worth of playing it and still being able to find the odd new thing. But if the new thing is, oh look, it's a different type of tree I haven't seen before, well, that's my latest discovery in the past 100 hours of gameplay. Cool. That's not so fun.
Yeah. So, Civilization is where I'm probably gonna, you know, spend a lot of my time. I don't know about you. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering, I said it in my Discord when we were talking about it too with the moderators in my community and stuff. Wondering if that's how things are going to be, or missions are going to be carried out a lot of the time, is like one of those planets are going to be a Radiant target. And then your objective will appear there, and it could be, you know, a dungeon or just an encounter with bandits, God forbid. But I'm wondering if it's a little more dynamic, in the sense that it could just create a location that you would go to that's, like, built in a certain way. I've been playing Oblivion recently, where the Oblivion gates, for example, like, you can encounter up to 60 in Oblivion. But they're all, when you enter the Oblivion gate, the dungeon itself is drawn from a pool of dungeons. And it's randomized when you go through the gate. So it could be an evolution, a much later evolution of that kind of thing too. Because no doubt there's going to be a loading screen between it being in space and the planet. So, you know, I wonder if something like that is going to be incorporated.
I mean, I hope it's not as bad as our initial worries are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the core thing is, as long as they have the key story places, like the big civilized areas and the stuff where things really happen, still be well detailed, I feel like it will still be a good kind of exploring game, even if you don't go to all of these other, like, 990 planets.
Yeah.
That's my hope, anyway. I do have one other mild complaint, while we're on the more negative side of things, because I put in my notes, faces look a little weird. The faces in the game, like, they don't look bad, but to my eye, they were almost like a tad bit Uncanny Valley, kind of a little bit. Yeah, a little bit clunky, like, they look human, but they aren't human, and I was just kind of like, that's a bit weird. It's not, like, terrible, and it's definitely not the sort of thing where if I was playing the game, I'd be like, oh, I can't play this anymore, how...
I think the short frames, like the extra, oh my god, the lady that was doing, like, the narrative part of the trailer, she's got, like, a crazy amount of shine in her eyes, but it's a dead stare.
Yeah, but I don't think we saw anyone blink, which definitely didn't help.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, no. It's like the longest it held on someone's face was maybe like 3 seconds, so you don't need them to blink in that time, I guess.
No.
That definitely did add to the effect, yeah.
So maybe it was a little bit of that, but I get what you're saying. But the landscapes that we did see, especially the ones where there is, you know, a colony of some kind, looked really cool. And just like the panoramic view when your ship is coming in, stuff like that. Like that gives me like the explorer vibe that I'm sure that they're going for.
Yeah, environments are looking real solid.
I'm into the simplistic interface too. Like they've, you know, done that pretty well. Especially like since the left side is like a compass / atmosphere monitor / clock, like all at once, which is kind of cool. I like that and it's got the name of the planet too on it. I just noticed. I
did not notice that myself. Yeah, that looks pretty good, and I'm quite glad to see that, especially after having played some 76 recently and how cluttered the HUD can get on that. Like, you finish an event and you've got like quests on one side, you got your diseases, you got your health, your thing, all the rewards popping up in the middle of the screen. It's overboard. And then the when you switch to your scanner, because they do have a scanner system in this game too, which is cool. Yeah.
It switches what the lower left of the HUD is, and it shows the temperature, oxygen levels, and gravity, and whatever you're scanning, of course, shows what kind of elements it contains.
Yeah, they got, was it iron?
Iron,
they were digging out of one of the walls.
So you got a mining laser, you can mine out iron.
Yeah, resource gathering. They talked about crafting, and there's an outpost building system, so a lot of that stuff, kind of familiar from Fallout 4, is coming back in a slightly different way.
Yep.
Which
it's instead of picking up a whole bunch of junk, you're actually mining raw materials too.
Yeah. Like, personally, I'm quite a fan of that kind of gameplay loop in general, especially if it's done well. But I also know there's plenty of people who hate it, so I think it's gonna, for Starfield in particular, it'll come down to like how critical that is to the game.
And also, like, what kind of prefabs are going to be available for players? Because they were available in Fallout 4, and of course they're available in Fallout 76 as well, if you're not particularly creative. So, I'm sure that'll be a thing. Like, ship schematics, too, I'm sure will be a thing.
Oh, yeah. Like, just in the very short clip we saw, there was a lot of, like, customizable things. It looks like they've gone heavy on this element of it. So, I feel like there's going to be so many different combinations. You won't get bored with it anytime soon.
Oh, hey, Sarge. I just saw something on the HUD.
Oh, what do you see?
When they're in scanner mode, on the bottom it says photo mode.
No, please send me the screenshot. I have to see this for myself. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. 76 remains the game with... Oh, right bumper photo mode, yes.
Yay!
Oh, it says outpost, open bracket, 30, close bracket. Does that mean you can put down, like, 30 outposts? I'm wondering if the resources go straight to your outpost or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
The temperature, the oxygen, gravity. Man, there's actually quite a lot of information considering how minimal the HUD is.
Yeah.
That's really quite good.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought was really cool when they brought up the, you know, the scanner with the mining stuff.
Yeah, photo mode though. In a year's time, I hope all of my patrons will be happy for 12 solid months of Starfield photos, the wallpapers, because that's 100% gonna happen. Like, genuinely,
deal with it.
Yeah, Fallout 76 has the best photo mode from any game I've played. I've heard other people talk about a few other games here and there.
Like Death Stranding?
Yes, you're the one who talks about Death Stranding. I've heard, like, Red Dead 2 and... it's the samurai kind of game, I think, that came out a year or two ago. They got, like...
Sekiro?
No, it's...
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, I think that's one, which got, like, quite good praise for the photo mode, but... I'm always happy to see more photo modes in games. I love them.
Yeah.
And Bethesda genuinely does, like, quite a good balance between, like, accessibility and, like, still getting good details out of it. So I'm super happy that you picked up on that detail.
Yep.
So that's another reason that I'm going to play the game I was already guaranteed to play.
Just for you, bro. Just for you. They heard
just
you.
for me. I'm happy. Genuinely, there was a lot of stuff I have talked about wanting in a future game from my Fallout Raiders of New York series, which they put in this, especially their character creator thing.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah,
I made a video like a few weeks back, I want to say, talking about the perfect character creator for a Fallout game, and I talked about like traits and skills and backgrounds where it changes stuff up.
My ears perked up there.
Yeah, and like pretty much all of the stuff I mentioned was in the Starfield character creator thing, and I was just like, huh, that's neat. Yeah, I made notes of starting skills and traits, because that's a big thing. They have like different walk cycle options.
Yeah,
which I was quite
they
happy
have
with.
the triangle thing that you're not a fan of, though.
They do have the triangle thing I'm not a fan of, which we saw in like Fallout 4 between like skinny, fat, and muscular, which never quite works out because it's still got the same general body shape. Although they do have a body type thing, and I'm not sure if that's just going to be the masculine and feminine kind of bodies, or if they're going to go through several different ones. I'm hoping it's like several choices, so then you can really mix it up a bit more. Because if so, I will accept the kind of 3-point slider.
Yeah. I wonder if the walk style is masculine versus feminine as well.
It could be. I'm hoping there's going to be a fair few options there.
A little bit more than that would be cool, but I would understand if it was just that. Because you could have a masculine body with a feminine walk style if you wanted to, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
the more options, the better. And it looks like overall there's a fair few good options. They also have more of the kind of slider and going through options choice, rather than Fallout 4's pulling out the face thing. Like, while I liked Fallout 4's pulling out a face thing sometimes, your character is constantly moving, and it is a nightmare to like click on just mouth corners at points.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare, especially recently when I've had to like constantly design different characters with very specific faces. It's been driving me up the wall. So, happy with that overall. But in terms of like the actual more mechanical stuff, like starting skills you get as part of your background, and it sounds like that could incorporate into dialogue from time to time. Like the example they give is choosing a diplomat background, and someone's like, "Oh, you're a diplomat," it says here. That might come in handy. Nice. And apparently being a diplomat will give you like some bonuses to speech-related stuff, I imagine.
And there, it looks like there's a scroll bar there too for choosing a background, so there's a lot of choices.
Oh yeah, quite a lot of them. I mean, I don't know if you can see on the actual image, like, read out what the stuff says.
Yeah, I lost it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it currently, but it's all a bit slow for me.
So, chef, while the unrefined masses scarfed down chunks by the shipload, you catered to those with a more discerning palate. In your kitchen, countless alien species became true culinary masterpieces. Starting skills are gastronomy. You can craft specialty food and drinks and research additional recipes at Research Lab. Dueling, melee weapons do 10% more damage. And wellness, immediately gain 30 points of health.
Nice. That seems a solid amount. I've just found a combat medic while scrolling through, which is leave it to human beings to fight over something as infinite as outer space. That's where you come in. You've never been afraid to take on the enemy, but you'd much rather take care of your friends. Starting skills are pistol certification, pistols deal 10% more damage, medicine, medpacks heal 10% more, and weightlifting, increase total carrying capacity by 10 kilograms.
Yeah. I do hope some of these are a bit more interesting, or maybe the interesting come in with the traits. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that the skills get more interesting as you go. Because what Todd was saying was it's actually a bit of a mishmash. When you decide to go with a skill, you build that skill by using it.
Yep. Another thing I actually talked about in my Fallout video.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Bit of a mix between Skyrim and Fallout systems, it kind of sounds like.
Skyrim and Oblivion systems, too.
Yeah.
Because Oblivion was all skill building. And your major skills would determine your level ups. It's fresh in my mind. Sorry, Oblivion. I've been playing it. Cyber Runner, From Neon to New Atlantis, the megacorps stand as monuments to power, prestige, and profit. You've worked both for and against them on the inside and out, often sacrificing conscience for credits. That one's also got pistol certification, which is pistol damage. Security, you can attempt to hack advanced locks, and 2 auto attempts can be banked. Ooh, you can bank auto attempts.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that works. That sounds cool, though.
I mean, auto attempts is just, I assume, automatically opens the lock.
Yeah, auto attempts, but you can bank them, kind of like the crits in Fallout 4. In some way, you would bank them instead. Different hacking or unlocking minigame too that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And persuasion, gain an increased chance of success on speech challenges. There's going to be speech challenges.
There are.
How
noticed...
in depth they'll be, we don't know.
They've already talked a tiny bit about like speech systems, and they seem confident in it, but we've not actually seen any of it firsthand yet, so we can't say. I saw in one of the other ones as well. They've got the whole stop fighting option in one of the skills. I've gone past it now because I've managed to pause on a trait.
I'm on cyberneticist.
Oh.
Robots? Mere toys. Neuroamps? Good for parlor tricks. Ooh, that's something new too. The Colony War may have made implants and upgrades available to veterans, but you once saw a greater future. Humans and machines as one. Starting skills are medicine, which is medpack stuff. Robotics, you deal 10% more damage to robots and turrets. And lasers. Laser weapons do 10% more damage. So there will be cyborg-oriented things too, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And neuroamps. Maybe some psi powers?
Yeah, no idea what they're actually going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That could stand for quite a bit, I imagine. Have you got any more backgrounds you want to go through?
Diplomat? The wars are over? Did we?
Oh, wait, no, I just mentioned it because it was one I remembered. Go through the actual details of it.
Diplomat. The wars are over. Peace now reigns in the settled systems, but only because there are those quietly fighting to keep it. Because of you, agreements were signed, words were heeded, lives were spared. Starting skills are persuasion, increased chance of success in speech challenges, diplomacy. You can force a target NPC at or below your level to stop fighting for a while. And bargaining. Buy items for 5% less and sell for 10% more. So your standard fare for a social build.
Yeah.
Cool.
So far the skill's not sounding like anything too amazing, but like the standard baseline stuff. Hopefully there'll be enough of them and a good few interesting ones to really make interesting builds. The traits, I'm not sure how many we'll be able to see, but I'm on Introvert right now, which they've selected. You get up to 3 traits you can pick. Introvert is, you really need your alone time. You have more endurance when adventuring alone, but less when adventuring with other human companions. Can't be combined with extrovert. So endurance is a thing. I'm guessing that's just going to be health. And there's also kid stuff. Your parents are alive and well, and you can visit them at their home. But 10% of all the money you earn is deducted automatically and sent to them. Hold up. That's the entirety of it. So this just adds in characters to the game, but then you lose 10% of your money?
That means you have a player home to start with, I think.
That could well be it.
A player home to go back to or something. That's cool, actually.
I think
that's pretty cool.
I'll be super happy if that adds in, like, maybe a couple of extra quests and stuff as well.
Or, like, a really wealthy family.
Yeah.
Or it's, like, the best house.
I mean,
cool.
not every character's gonna have the nice standard living, though. Neon Street Rat is you grew up on the mean streets of Neon. You gain access to special dialogue options and better rewards from some missions on Neon. Crime bounty by other factions is greatly increased. Can't be combined with any other faction allegiance trait.
Ooh.
So right from the start of the game you can be like, these are the people I'm going with. I like that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow, there's religion ones as well. Raised Enlightened. You grew up as a member of the Enlightened. You gain a significant discount at the organization store, but lose access to Sanctum Universum store. Can't be combined with any other religion trait. And there's Raised Universal, which is just the opposite. And there's Serpent's Embrace. I'm sorry for going through all of these. I was expecting it to skip away already, but Serpent's Embrace is you grow up worshipping the Great Serpent, which I'm guessing is another religion thing. Grav jumping provides a temporary boost to health and endurance, but health and endurance are lowered if you don't continue jumping regularly, like an addiction.
Oh.
Can't be combined with any other religion trait.
Hey, this is a trait.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I mean, all the people back in the days of Nuclear Winter who went with frog legs,
Yeah.
they'll be going right for this.
Now you got jump jets, too.
Yeah. Oh, there's more. There's spaced. I wonder how many of these it goes through. And this is only in like a handful of seconds, but I'm pausing constantly.
Well, the scroll bar on this is a little shorter than the background thing, so...
Yeah. It looks like there's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
18-ish?
16, 17. Yeah, about 18. Yeah, your body has become acclimated to space. Health and endurance are increased when in space, but decreased when on the surface. So.
Okay.
Oh! Oh, wow, you can have a mortgage. Starter home is you own a small house on a peaceful little moon, but it comes with a 50,000 credit mortgage with Galbank.
Cool.
And that's all the traits it shows us.
Yeah. So it's just like the family one, except you have debt instead of like a constant drain on your funds.
Yep. Oh.
That's cool.
The next section shows all the skills off. Do you want to talk about that as well? Or do you want to stick on traits and stuff for a little bit more?
Let's go. Hold on. Serpent's Embrace, spaced, starter home. They stopped at starter home, so we can move on to the next one. Do you want to like? Yeah, I don't know enough about like what we're seeing to like guess what the other ones would be, because I barely even know anything about the factions. So
yeah, well, there's 5 different skill trees: physical, social, combat, science, and tech. I'm instantly down for that. Each of the trees doesn't have like a ton, but it's split into 4 sections with like 3, 4, or 5 skills to pick from. We only really get to hover over a few of them, but in combat they've got targeting, I think it's called, with a challenge progress bar. Kill 125 enemies without aiming. Doesn't say what reward you get from that, but
the next
it's
rank.
current. Oh, is that just oh, that would make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've got it ranked 2 out of 4 currently. And it says unlock greatly increased accuracy and range when shooting without aiming, so hip fire, which is good to see. Then, one that I'm definitely going to be going for, sniper certification.
Of course.
Only a trained sniper truly understands all the elements necessary to patiently and effectively neutralize a target at excessive range. My latest script, I mentioned like the Coriolis effect and all of that stuff. I love my sniping. Yeah, this is unlock scope weapons are steadier and have less sway. That's pretty standard. Oh, no, go back. It only shows these for like a few
You can go frame
frames.
by frame with comma and period, by the way.
Oh, comma and period. Where are those on here?
Greater than and less than.
Yes. Oh, I'm going frame by frame. Well, Caedo, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I never knew that. Okay, yeah, rapid reloading. So reload 150 empty magazines. That's a slightly harder one to glitch through, but yeah, rank 3 out of 4. Unlock, gain a chance to reload your weapon twice as fast as normal. Only a chance, but better than nothing. Have you got anything else? What's next? Heavy weapon certification. Gain 30 damage resistance while aiming down sights with a heavy weapon. Demolitions. Hey, Caedo! Demolitions!
Oh my god.
Yep, and kill 125 enemies with explosives to unlock explosives doing 30% more damage and having a 30% larger radius.
Let's see. I haven't seen attributes anywhere though. Like, I wonder if attributes are just ditched for this.
I mean, they could be here. I don't know how much they've actually shown us so far is the thing.
Yeah.
We do get a slightly more in-depth look at one of the skills here. Okay, ballistics, it just shows, it seems like every perk gets about 4 ranks. And ballistics is rank 1, ballistic weapons do 10% more damage, then 20% more damage, then 30% more
and then
damage.
range at the very end.
Yeah, range increased by 30 at the end. It's an interesting little one. It seems like the perks so far, nothing too crazy. I hope there's some more interesting ones. It only shows us like the combat bit, which is a bit annoying because that's
Yeah.
gonna be where some of the more basic ones are.
You
I
say
imagine.
perks, but it's skills, and they're the same thing in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas traits are the things that make it, pretty interesting.
Yeah. Traits are positives combined
Like
with
the other
negative.
games. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, considering that the combat's only a fifth of it, I'm very much hoping that, like, especially social science and tech, I'm hoping that they have some of the more interesting perks.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, Bethesda's does come under a bit of criticism for perks being a bit basic, something I've criticised it for as well. And this doesn't look like super promising on that front so far, but we only get to see a small amount of them. So
Yeah. And we've seen a little bit of combat in the gameplay. The reason I haven't mentioned anything about it yet is just because it looks like, basic shooting things.
Like, it seemed pretty fluid to me. There was one point where I was like, did the character slide a little bit there?
It looked like there was a little slide.
Yeah, it was like, it was so minor that I'm not certain about it. But hopefully we'll see more of that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Still, the combat looks solid enough to me. Like, it looked smooth. There's a bunch of, like, weapon customization, so I'm hoping that things get mixed up a little bit. And, like, combat doesn't need to be incredible, it just needs to be up to modern standards, I'd say. Which I feel like it's going to be.
Yeah.
From the looks of all this. I'm at the slide bit now. Man, it's hard to tell. If it's a slide, it's a tiny little slide.
Yeah.
But he's also, like, not going very fast. Yeah, we get to see, like, shotguns, submachine guns, pistols. Like, pretty standard weaponry so far. I'm hoping that there'll be some better stuff, or fancier stuff shown off in the future.
Looking at the crafting now, so yeah, in the required materials that it shows in the weaponry crafting, or weapon mod crafting, sorry, it does indeed require raw materials like iron and nickel.
Yep.
As well as pre-made crafting materials like sealant or space adhesive. That's right, everybody. We're gonna need a farm adhesive again.
Yay!
Oh my god.
I just rewatched a tiny bit of the combat, and there's a point where they shoot someone's jetpack and he goes off and explodes, which is kind of cool.
That's pretty great. It's a very space thing to do. Hey, remember when Boba Fett died?
Yeah, in episode 6.
Pretty great to reminisce on something that should have been left alone.
Hey, dude, I've not watched like any of the modern Star Wars stuff really.
No, me neither.
I watched one season of The Mandalorian, and besides that, episode 6 was like last in the timeline for me.
My voice is disappearing.
Oh dear. Well, have we really got anything else to say about Starfield?
I
feel like we covered that quite granularly, really going through kind of frame by frame.
Man, I like the idea of designing a ship and then getting a crew for that ship.
Yeah, the crew part, I was like, ooh.
I wonder how in depth that's gonna be. Because like I think that's the next evolution, because it's all iterative, right? The next stage of what the settlers were in settlements. Yeah. So
well, they talk
might
about
still...
like outpost management being done by people you hire to go there, which is just like
it might be both. But there might be like hopefully some more depth to those characters, because they're just pawns in Fallout 4, really. Yeah,
well, it depends how many of them will just be like named crewmate or ship flyer or whatever sci-fi thing they're going to do, as opposed to Dirk Gently, amazing sci-fi detective who will help you out in your crew.
Yeah, if it's a companion, then it might, it would be a little different. But
yeah,
we'll see how diverse that is. Showed us just flying the ship, which was cool.
Bit of space combat.
Yep, space combat.
Good. Very happy to see that. Nothing revolutionary looking there, but the fact we've got it in the game is nice.
Yep. And what they showed looks pretty smooth. They have their shield They showed the UI for a short bit too. For that, I'm gonna see if I can figure out what was all on screen here. Probably right side is the hull. It shows the hull and probably the shield overall health. But on the left side, it looks like power levels or shield levels on the various parts of the ship. And then the main reticle in the middle shows your speed, your boost, what you're aiming at, lock on, all that fancy stuff, distance, those kinds of things. Yeah. Lots of stuff on screen. Lots of very, very simulator, spaceman simulator-y situation.
I mean, it's already more in depth than I was expecting it to be. So
yeah.
Who knows how far they're taking it?
But Todd ended on the. I don't like how their lighting was on the stage either. It definitely, like, if I can just rant a little bit, the lighting. Yeah. There was something wrong with the lighting that shadowed their faces in like the least attractive way possible. I noticed that with like several of the speakers. I was just like, oh, I can see all the wrinkles on your face. I'm not supposed to be focusing on that. I'm supposed to be focusing on what you're sharing.
Yeah, it feels like they lit them from both the left-hand side and the right-hand side, but not dead on. So you've got the shadows kind of crossing over a bit. Yeah,
maybe it was that. I don't know. I'm not a lighting person. Like, I don't know the first thing about lighting. Like, I just show my ring light towards my face.
I mean, I would have gone with the front softbox, personally, if I was lighting that stage. One thing I did notice on a similar vein was at one point towards the end, Todd basically trying to follow the camera and just gradually turning to the side because it's like doing a pan around him when he's trying to talk dead to camera, and that made me chuckle a bit. Yeah. It basically looks like the camera's just trying to get away from it and he's just following it.
Come on, stupid camera. Look at me.
That was just quite a funny little thing.
But we got some panoramics of like the different planets and locales and stuff towards the very end. One of the things I noticed too is because Bethesda is known for, like, you know, the green filter or the yellow filter or whatever. It looks like those types of light filters are differing depending on the planet that you're on, and it kind of bummed me out a little bit that the planet that they chose to like fight those bandits on had like a gray filter.
Yeah, was a bit
and
gray.
made the gameplay pretty bland looking. That's just something I noticed. But when you get towards the end, you see all the different lighting that they have in different planets and different locales, which does add that diversity. It's like if everything happened in the glowing sea, Fallout 4 would be very boring. Like, but that's not the case. There's many different spots that have different lighting setups in Fallout 4. So, I feel like that the beginning of the combat in that presentation was not, didn't show enough of the lighting diversity to me, or the color diversity. Again, I'm not a light composition person. I'm self-taught with editing and all that junk, but I'm just saying what my eyes find satisfying, I wasn't finding at the very beginning of this.
Yeah. I think especially in contrast to the cinematic shots they show, which are genuinely quite beautiful. I've actually just gone by one, which is like swirling mass that's center lit, and then all around the edge is like super dark shadow as the person walks in, which is a great balance of contrast. And they do that same kind of technique throughout in several of the shots. It does make the just bland flat lighting on grey, which is about as basic as things can get, stand out and look even worse in comparison. Well, I think that's possibly going to be very kind of standard throughout the game. I imagine there's going to be a lot of like beautiful set pieces.
There's a bit of a washed out aesthetic, which is for some of it, yeah.
A lot of areas where it's just like, well, we've got 1,000 planets. This one's sandy. The next one's dirty. Oh, this one's just plain green grass.
Yeah. But even on the like star map that they showed like at the very end, zooming out and stuff like that, it's still got that slightly washed out look to it.
Hmm.
But I think that's intentional for like the design they're trying to go for.
Yeah.
Because like the Outer Worlds did that a little bit too, where they had to me, not enough, diversity. So I'm hoping there's a little more diversity in Starfield, just with the look and appearance of things. But minor gripe, a lot of what they showed looks pretty cool, pretty fun to explore. I
feel like overall we're both very happy with it.
Yeah,
there are concerns, but even if the concerns come out as like the worst they can be, I still think this is going to be a fun game. Yeah.
And they didn't show enough of the like NPC interaction and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and it was all kind of very cinematic style as well.
Even though they did like a short clip to reveal the robot companion, like we still haven't seen like actual dialogue with companions.
Yeah.
So that may trickle in later. We've not seen any
dialogue boxes as well, which I want to see.
No, we need to see dialogue boxes. Maybe they're reworking that right now.
Yeah. That's the thing, the game's still got some way to go. It's not coming out till next year after the delay now, so all of this is technically subject to change. Yeah. We'll have to see how much of it sticks around, really.
But we know it's not going to be Cyberpunk subject to change, because that was ridiculous.
Yeah. But I feel like the vast majority of the stuff they've talked about here, they can definitely deliver on. There'll be questions as to like how well they deliver on, but
how much?
Yeah, it's gonna be there. If anything, it reminds me a bit of the quote about Skyrim of "you can climb that mountain," where that was one where yes, you can climb that mountain in Skyrim, but some people took it to be like, oh, there's going to be climbing mechanics and you're going to have a grappling hook and like all of this stuff will be in there. It's how the person listening interprets what is said that'll really determine if you're underwhelmed or overwhelmed by it.
But I think they're usually pretty good about describing the systems that are going to be in their games because they've already proven that they can do it.
Yeah.
Whereas Cyberpunk was ambitious from the start. Overly ambitious.
I mean, if we've not got anything else to say about Starfield, I'm happy to talk about Cyberpunk for a little bit. Because I've been playing it again recently.
Hey, let's move on to what we're playing and playing about.
Yep. And I just jumped back into Cyberpunk 2077. I was really looking for like a FPS game that's kind of an open world thing that I could play through. And I've been bouncing back and forth over what I wanted to jump into. And I figured I'd give Cyberpunk another go. Because I'm going to be featuring it in a future video at some point. And I'd already wrote like the section up for it, talking about like how people say it's so much better after the last big update and stuff, so I'll go in. And now I have to ask Caedo the question of, did you see my little Twitter video I posted of it?
No.
I'm going to send it to you right now.
Okay, do it.
And tell you what, while you watch it, it's a minute long. A whole minute, I know. Just like explain it as you're watching it, so that the audience gets an idea.
Oh, we're seeing the T-posing. The T-posing in the intro. A-posing and T-posing. It's got both.
Yeah.
So your cutscene is jacked up.
So jacked up.
All right. Your gun is not making any noise when you're in the car chase scene.
Completely silent. Don't worry, it'll come back in the next scene.
Okay, cool. Okay, you're getting pulled over by the cops that aren't present.
Yep,
they're not there
invisible.
at all. Okay.
Did you spot the floating boxes as we were driving up as well?
Nope.
It's fine.
There she is. She spawned right in front of the... Oh, and Jackie exploded for a second.
Yes, it's the bullets. Give it a second, and do you
hear that?
There
is hostile. Okay.
Yep. Now you hear all the gun sounds and...
Yep. Everything caught up. Okay. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's
that was
more
after
buggy
patches.
than when I first played it, yeah.
Cool.
The intro section is worse.
Awesome.
So much worse.
Great.
It's been hilarious.
You could have fooled me, Sarge. Like, that looked like launch footage to me.
I have my launch footage. It is better than that.
Oh my goodness.
that is genuinely the worst that the intro section's ever been for me. It's become more buggy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for
It's
sharing
amazing.
that with me.
For anyone who's not seen it, go check out my Twitter. It's not many posts back, but it's just a minute cut down of the intro section with like 3 different scenes where it bugged out majorly for me. And one of them is like just a video.
Yeah.
It's not even like gameplay or anything.
I don't understand. The only reason they couldn't make that just a cutscene was because of the mirror sequence. Like if they didn't have the mirror sequence in there, like they could have just made it a video.
Yeah, and in the mirror sequence, I'm a complete monstrosity.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because it's all in first person anyway, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No. It's crazy.
They need to pre-render that and just put it in as some sort of compressed video instead.
Yeah, but besides that, I've kind of enjoyed my time with Cyberpunk, just doing some side quests and stuff. The game really hasn't improved much, as is evident. I'm looking forward to eventually getting like some of the new apartments and stuff, because in terms of gameplay, that's the kind of thing I really enjoy.
And the iconics
like,
that aren't in my guide.
The whole loot system in general is bad in that game.
Yeah.
I actually remember, I think it was a Kenshi dev, I want to say, posted something about like looting in Cyberpunk just being like random junk everywhere all the time, and it's just too much and it's pointless.
Mm-hmm.
And I 100% agree, because all you do is constantly hit the scanner button to see where the bit of junk is so you can get the crafting component to make some more ammo so you can keep your gun picked up or do all of that. And it's just, you're looting constantly and not paying attention to the world. And the environments are really cool because it's Cyberpunk, even if the characters don't load in properly. So, yeah, it's... Man, that game... I would have thought it would be at a much better state by now. But it's really not, and there's not been an update in like 6-7 months or something, I think, at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've kind of just quietly abandoned it and moved their resources to somewhere else.
Like the Cyberpunk anime?
Possibly.
It's a different group of people doing it, but like it's...
I mean, that could be decent. There are good Cyberpunk animes out there. Ghost in the Shell has a couple of anime movies, I think, which are solid. Actually, just Ghost in the Shell is... Not Ghost in the Shell. Oh, I'm thinking of the other one. Oh, it's the TV series. Oh, I'm so annoyed I can't remember the name of it. Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon was the thing I was thinking of. Yeah, that's real good Cyberpunk. It's a shame the game wasn't like that. But anyway, let's talk about some positive games now. I've ragged on Cyberpunk too much, because I played some solid games. One that I've just been toying with in a bit of free time is Besiege, where you just... It's like an engineering-style game. Are you aware of it? Yeah. I just picked it up because it's on Game Pass. Game Pass has been so good to me. I'm very happy I've got it, honestly, because it's just nice trying out all these games that I otherwise wouldn't. Besiege, I'd seen like YouTubers messing about with it before, and just being like, lol, let's make a stick. Ah. My job's a YouTuber, I should know what YouTubers sound like. But yeah, I just saw people messing around with it, and I was like, yeah, let's just go mess about. But instead I found it to be like a really chill, kind of methodical, okay, how does this work? Let's trial it out. Okay, let's modify the steering a tiny bit. Let's remove one block here and see how that alters it. It's been like this really nice, soothing kind of experience of gameplay. I've been super down for it.
That's good.
Yeah. I've also on Game Pass, I installed Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is like a much more recent game. It's like a dinosaur management simulator. I've only played a little bit of it so far, and the campaign is basically like a narrative tutorial, which I quite approve of, because it just slowly gets you up to speed with how every single building works. Which is good, because there's a lot of them, and it can be overwhelming.
I know the game was promoted by Jeff Goldblum, but was he any part of the narration?
I think it's him. They've got, like, a bunch of the Jurassic World characters in it, which is actually the part I like least, because I only watched the one Jurassic World movie, like the first Jurassic World movie. I don't know how many they've done, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I like the old school Jurassic Park movies, but the modern ones I was like, I don't really care. So the narrative side of it I'm not too into. And it's definitely fake voice actors for the lead two from the modern movies, whose names I can't remember. One of them's played by Chris Pratt. But yeah, that's definitely a different voice actor via Dr. Ian Malcolms. I think his name is for Jeff Goldblum's character. Could be him, or could be a good kind of impersonator. I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's kind of in the game. But honestly, That side of it is the part I don't enjoy so much. I'm more like, yeah, let's get a dinosaur and make it really happy.
Nah.
That's it. But final thing I've been playing is Skyrim.
What? I don't believe you.
Yeah. Oh, well, I have proof. It's on my channel.
Oh, okay.
I started a challenge run series, Skyrim AE crafting only. Or crafted items only.
That's right. You started that.
Yeah, where I'm going through and I'm only using weapons, armor, potions, and poisons that I myself have crafted. Which has been quite a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and my thinking was, oh, okay, well, YouTube at the moment just promotes random videos, so let's do this. It's fairly low effort content, just to kind of like get a few new people in here and there. Seeing as the Raiders of New York series isn't doing that great, this will be a good way to kind of like just get a little bit more out there. First video has 7.1 thousand views, which for my channel, pretty good.
That is pretty
especially
good.
Recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
The first and third video
That's really good.
blew up. Like, the lowest view count of any of them is 2.7k, which is on episode 2. Episode 3 is currently at 5.7k. Episode 4, which came out 4 days ago, is 2.9k. And, yeah, I've been getting, like, hundreds of comments of people who are just being really nice to me, which is lovely. Because obviously it's the Let's Play format, so I'm basically just talking to the camera constantly, and people are just being like, oh yeah, but it's really cool. I like your chatting and your personality and stuff.
Sarge.
Yeah.
Can I critique your thumbnails though?
What? Oh, please don't. Why? What's bad? Tell me. I'm scared.
Your episode number is behind the time or the duration of the video, so you can't really tell what episode number it is.
Oh, it is. Oh,
yeah.
I have to flip those over.
I gotta tell you that early, so you don't have to go back. You know.
Well, I've only made 20 of them.
Oh no.
I do them in bulk. It's fine. That's a pretty minor thing overall. I can change that easy enough.
But it looks great otherwise.
Thanks. But yeah, that series has done like really well, which is half of the reason why I'm cancelling Raiders of New York. I'm only doing a few more videos for that. I'm just calling it a little bit early.
Fallout 5 Roni.
Yeah, well, the last episode of that is at 565 views.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now. Your crafting only run is way outperforming that.
Yeah, getting thousands of views. The best viewed episode. Oh yeah, best viewed episode on my Fallout Roni series, Raiders of New York, is the first episode with 7,332 views. Came out on 24th of March. The first episode of my crafting series, which came out on the 30th of May, so real recently, has 7,186. So,
I still think you should put Fallout 5 back in the title. I think it helps. I think it helps.
I can throw it in there, but it doesn't matter too much at this point. Like, ultimately, the series has just not been a success. It has had a lot of people who have been really into it. There's probably, like, a couple of hundred people who are, like, quite into the whole idea and appreciate all the, like, extra work that goes in. But it's not been, like, a mass popular hit, which is what you need in YouTube. So I'm going on to the content which takes half a day to make and gets thousands of views, rather than the videos which take the best part of a week to make and don't hit 1,000 views.
It's like, that high effort versus low effort.
Yeah.
It sucks.
But, I mean, it's going to make life a bit easier for me, so I'm not complaining. And I do enjoy making this series, so...
As long as it's enjoyable still, like, I think that's good.
Yep. Yeah. I've got new episodes of that coming out every Monday and Wednesday. So, if you want to catch up, it's the perfect time to do it, because there's only 4 episodes out so far. Yeah. That's been it for me. What about you, Caedo? What have you been up to?
I don't have as much to talk about. So I have, speaking of episodes, we're up to episode 74 of the Fallout 2 playthrough.
So many.
Like I had intended to be It's probably going to be over 100 episodes or close to it.
Wow.
May outperform or out episode amount the New Vegas playthrough.
Jeez.
Because I'm continuously choosing to do like, you know, get all the companions and get all the memory chips and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost a completionist run, almost.
It does feel very much like that.
But I can't become captain of the guard of Vault City anymore. So like, if I could title it completionist run, that would have to be one of the things. And I assassinated the guy that gives you the quest. So you can't do that. But I most recent episode is Death Claws or Crap, episode 74, where I fight a super mutant magician / Pokemon master who spawns in a Death Claw every turn, up to 4, and they're not regular Death Claws, they're tough Death Claws, which are like, you know, tough.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of that episode using Psycho, panicking, yelling at my companions to use their guns properly, and just shouting at the other mutant to stop spawning things in. Because after the 4 Death Claws, then it's 4 fire geckos. And then after that, I think it's like 4 floaters, or... But I killed him when like the second fire gecko came out, so... It's like a multi-stage boss fight. Like, there's not that many of those in those games back then. But like that in particular is like one of the harder fights in Fallout 2, so it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you can see that episode whenever you want, because it's on the thing.
Yeah.
Besides that, like, I had a little time to record before I got sick. The reason that I got sick, I mentioned at the beginning, is because I went to a concert that I so desperately wanted to go to. And it was Crown the Empire's 10-year anniversary of the Fallout, their album that came out 10 years ago. And it's not just because I'm a Fallout fan and their album's name is a Fallout that I like their music. Their music is really, really good. That concert on Monday was amazing. I also got to see the lead singer from another band that I never got to see, but sadly he's not part of that band anymore. But I got to see Drugs or Destroy, Rebuild Until God Shows. It's a funny acronym name.
Yeah.
But I got to see Craig Owens and his band as well, who I had been longing to see live also. So he performed right before Crown the Empire performed. So it was like, it's just this exciting situation that I got to like scream my lungs out and then be hungover the next day and then become sick. So,
woo.
But all of it was worth it to me because it was a fun concert to go to. And we got footage of it, and I might put it up on the Patreon. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
We'll see. But outside of that, since I've been sick and pretty much useless in the voice department, as you can tell, I have also played a lot of Oblivion. I was able to find out, I was surprised that Steam even had it. It had my saves from last time I booted up Oblivion, which was 2014.
Oh, yeah.
So 8 years ago. I hadn't played Oblivion for 8 years.
Caedo, I was a teenager 8 years ago.
Oh my god, Sarge! Okay.
Yeah.
So I decided to roll a Breton because I heard from a certain Michael and Scott of Fudge Muppet that Bretons are broken in Oblivion, which they are. They have a natural 50 magic resist, like right off the bat, which is ridiculous. On top of their like dragon skin, like daily ability, which is also just more resistance to stuff. So I decided to make a Breton like spell sword type character. And because of the spell crafting in Oblivion, you can become very overpowered very quickly. Yep. But you have to get through all of the Mage Guild like recommendation quests before you can actually get into.
I never made it through all of them.
Yeah. So, or you go to one of the DLC spots, like the Mage Tower, and that has, you know, the thing too. But you have to purchase candles for the spellmaking bench anyway. But so once you learn, and I use the wiki a little bit, once you learn like how the different spells can affect each other, like you can make a weaken ×4 spell, like weakness to all elements and weakness to magic 100%, and then just palm somebody with it, and it stacks, so you can palm them multiple times, and they'll be like, you know, 4 times weak or 5 times weak to like all elements and spells. And then you can have a follow-up spell that's not as strong, but it doesn't matter because you can debuff them to oblivion. Pun intended.
Yeah, when you're quintupling the damage, it doesn't really matter if you've not maxed out the base.
So, spellmaking is absurd in Oblivion and a lot of fun. So, I've kind of, like, put the melee skills to the side, and now I have, you know, maxed out destruction magic because I've been using spells almost exclusively. But it's been a fun little adventure. I enjoyed going to visit the Painted World again, the Realms of Oblivion, crushing those, going into the getting all the sigil stones, and helping Martin a little bit, Martin Septim, and looking forward to jumping into the Shivering Isles at some point again, because it's been a long time since I've played the Shivering Isles.
You've given a good description there, because I'm already wondering if I've got Oblivion installed on my Xbox, because I think it'd be quite good to play it just on my console as a bit of a chill game.
Yeah, no, it would be, for sure. Something I continuously have to remind myself, though, is if you skill train too much in the tutorial, you're going to be super screwed when you walk out of the dungeon, or walk out of the dungeon that you're in, and the sewers, because of the rate at which attributes are boosted based on skill gain. It's only for that level, and then it moves on to the next level, and then you character level up when you sleep. The leveling system is really like weird in Oblivion, so it's a little hard to min-max unless you know exactly what you're doing. Because it's also only your major skills that will level you up, whereas your minor skills, they won't give you character levels, but they'll give you those attribute boosts. It's all over the place. It's a good thing I know how character systems work a lot of the time. But it's been, like I said, a lot of fun going back to Oblivion, and I installed a few mods to make it easier on myself. Can't play it with a controller on PC. The controller bindings are really jacked up, so I have to play mouse and keyboard, which is fine. My shoulder's actually doing a lot better, even though
that's good.
Because I've been sick, I've been pretty lazy with my exercises because I haven't had the energy. But I have like a mini map now, and the loot menu, because Fallout 4 spoiled me.
Yeah.
Man, looting efficiency is amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Streaming a little bit on Discord, and that was fun too. So, but that's all that's been going on with me, I think. And my voice is about to die. So, thank you, Sarge, for taking the lead on a lot of this stuff. I appreciate it.
No worries.
All of you, still listening to my gross nasally voice. What did you think of the Xbox Bethesda showcase if you watched it? And what did you like in the Starfield one if you saw that? Or what kind of things do you want out of Starfield as against like the stuff that we've already seen? We would love to hear. Or if you just want to leave a funny joke for the comment of the cast. I don't know. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, for the next PIPCAST 3000. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.